Hey, what's going on? So, right about now, well, in the wintertime or the end of the winter, if you start to see carpenter ants, those big black ants in your house, you got to figure out why they're in the house right now early. Well, that's probably because they have a satellite colony. So let's go through this and maybe we can solve your carpenter ant problems, all right? So, you always want to look at a carpenter ant. That's what they look like, just so you know. They're rounded bodies, if you notice. They got the curved antenna and like 3 distinct bodies, okay, like body parts, all right? And, if you're looking for sizes, the queen's a little bit bigger, all right? You probably won't see the queen, okay? But the workers, they're smaller and pretty much black, okay? Now the mound ants that live in your backyard, these big, huge mounds, they're brown or different color, okay? And it kind of look the same, all right? But there's some distinct features. The biggest difference between a termite and an ant is that you notice the antennae are straight in a termite. Just think of the termite being straight, the straight antenna, the straight body, okay, without the curves in it, and the wings are basically the same size for the swarmers. The carpenter ant size are 2 different wings, so that's how you'll tell the difference. Well, where are they at? Well, they're going to find where there's food, where there's water, where there's moisture, and here you could actually see these are up in the attic, all right, and these are definitely carpenter ants. And they liked it in the attic. It was a very easy place for them to access. And a lot of times, if there's an area where there's food, like wood, they don't eat wood, but they like to live in wood and moisture. So always looking for moisture. Maybe there's a leaking gutter. Maybe there's dripping water from, a vent. Maybe there's a gable vent and a wind-driven side that's leaking. So you're always looking for water because or condensation. Okay, so, like sometimes, like if you look at I'll show you a picture here in a minute where not necessarily you have water, but you have condensation. I'll tell you where to look. So they don't eat wood, okay, and they usually move the frass, which is the sawdust that you see, and they'll move it, wherever just to get out of their way, and they will nest in, like I said, the wet wood. And they like to keep their galleries. Those are the little travel places they travel in and out clean. Unlike if you look at termites, the galleries are like muddy and dirty. Okay. So here, there's a perfect example of you go to your basement, and if you have a basement or crawl space, and if you go to the northeast corner, it tends to be cooler because the sun doesn't hit that area, and that's also if you have a crawl space that doesn't have a vapor barrier. In other words, there's moisture in there, humidity. Vented crawl spaces sometimes have a lot of humidity. If there's a sub pump down there that isn't sealed, or you have cold air return duct leakage where you're sucking your crawl space. So you want to move the insulation, and this is what you'll see. And you'll see the frass, and they're not necessarily in the frass, but they're there. They're around there. It could be a door that's leaking, okay, or a window that's leaking. So the way you know is the frass is you basically take the dust, okay, and put it in a little jar, however you want to do it, and then put it on a white piece of paper and look at it real close, and you'll see little black spots, see them all over, and so these little black spots are the parts of the ant. So that they don't bury their dead, they just chop them up and throw them out, man. They throw them out with the trash, so they don't even think about it, They throw the dead out and mix the dead with their frass. Oh, real quick, I do have a service, and I know that my videos, when you read them, this is Marko with a C. It's Marko with a K. So if you Google call Marko call Marko with a question, it'll prompt you to a site. Right now it's $29, and I can solve your problem over the phone, usually, if you have a house problem. Not ants, anything. I can use buildings and houses and environmental and odors. And, I've been doing this for 40 years. I'm an engineer. I've written a book. I've had all these environmental licenses. I'm an expert witness. So, and then also I do have some, if you're looking for like ant traps and things like that, and I'll pick some good ones for you right down below. You can check it out and pick them up there. Hey, order them here and get them delivered in 2 days. They're at your house. You know, I mean, sometimes it costs more money to start that car up and go to Home Depot. And a lot of times, you know, you don't have a big choice there. So I'll give you a couple choices here. And also, if you want to buy something else, just hop on one of those sites. It does go to my affiliate site for Amazon. I get like a %. So I'll be honest, 1% maybe. It helps pay for stuff. So the ant frass has its dead with it, okay? Now, when you look at the galleries are clean, and you can see how they're going through and just eating out the wood, or not eating out the wood, but moving the wood, okay? They damage the wood because they're living in there. So, and then they move that wood frass somewhere else. So sometimes they'll move it pretty far. So just because you have a pile of frass, the ants may not be there. They may be up higher or somewhere to the sides. Now, out in the woods, obviously, you know, they like dead logs, stumps, old telephone poles, you know, structures, you know, and inside porch pillars and roofs and windowsills, doors, siding, band joist beams, and, you know, house timbers, okay? And they're active indoors in the spring and the summer, active outdoors. I'm sorry, the other way around. They're active outdoors in spring and summer, but if you see them in the winter, then you got a colony inside, okay? They're starting earlier, okay? And they pretty much eat a bunch of stuff, okay? I mean, they probably won't eat that over here. They used to eat that, but I don't think they eat that anymore, which kind of makes you wonder, why do we eat that? But they do like sugars and jellies and fruits and syrup and plants and juices, and they'll go to your plants in your garden, you know. They like sugar, maybe good food scraps, you know, crumbs, you know. So they eat a lot of stuff. They bring it back to the nest. So here you can see where an ant colony in an attic found a bee's nest. Well, they attacked that bee's nest, and the bees probably killed the bees, or they left, or whatever. And then they took the rest of it, which was all the honey, okay? So they like, there was actually a case study here. It was, I was a home inspector in this case, maybe that, I'm going to say 30 years ago. I've been doing this for 40 years. And I remember telling my client, hey, there's ants in the attic. You got a problem in this house. And so they didn't buy the house, and the realtor, by the way, the realtors that refer out home inspectors, be real careful, okay? Oh, well, that realtor didn't use me, okay, because Marco, the deal killer, right? And so that's fine, but they did use another inspector, and this is great because I got this case. And so this inspector didn't say a word about the deteriorated, the leftover bees nest. He didn't say anything about wings. That, like, a lot of times inspectors will see like the wings. You saw the pictures of the ants, and you'll see like the wings, 2 different size wings, dead part ants. They'll see ants in the basement, dead ones. They'll say, whoa, what's going on here? You better check it out. He didn't do that because guess what? Realtor referral, you know, and he probably said, yeah, there's ants, but just put out some ant traps. You'll be fine. No, they weren't fine. This was a huge ant colony. And for some reason, this ant colony really liked the kitchen wall because they had ice dams, and the inspector didn't tell them about the ice dams. They liked the moisture because it had windows that leaked. They didn't. It was also southern facing, so they had a lot of wind-driven rain. So these ants ate out the whole wall. They had to remove an entire kitchen to get to the wall, to repair the structural studs. And then they called me back, and of course I said, oh, look at this. I got a picture. It was non-disclosed. Oh, sue the realtor too. Sue the realtor. And so they did sue the realtor. They sued the home inspector, and they sued the homeowner for non-disclosure. It was, and I was kind of ticked off at the realtor, and I said, hey, go get them. Get the realtor. They got lots of money. They always do, especially big companies. They'll give them $2 grand right up the front. And if you sue the home inspector, his insurance will put up $2 grand. So you got $4 grand. No questions asked. Go for it. Take it. You know, if you get a realtor referral and inspector, the realtor's going to say, oh, call your inspector. He missed it. No. Go for the realtor. because they got money, deep pockets. You're not going to get a lot, but you'll get $2 grand, pay for your lawyer. You get $2 grand from the home inspector because the insurance company will make them pay. And then the homeowner will going to throw in some money. So you're not going to get rich, but you'll get your kitchen fixed. Hey, okay. Whoa. Did I just get way off at the line here? Sorry for any of you realtors that are pissed at me now. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, so moving on. So here we got the frass. Now look at this. We're on the porch, and the frass is coming out. Look where they're dumping it. There's no ants there. They're up top. So they'll move the frass in the garage between walls. Here's the inside beam. Remember I told you about the beam pockets. Now here's a beam pocket where you could actually see ants. Look at that. You move the insulation, bada bing. There they are. Okay. That was a leaky door. Okay. And you could tell there's moisture. Check it out. Let me go back a little bit. See the rust stains? Those are the nails from the floor above. And see how they're moldy? And it's moist in here. Condensation. Too much humidity. You need a dehumidifier in your basement. Yeah. So you want to stop the moisture on the band joist. You got to stop the moisture. You got to stop the humidity. And it's cold because the R value, because it's the northeast corner, it's a lot colder, right? Cooler, 5 degrees at least. And so you want to take the moisture out of the picture. Take the moisture out. Okay. So run a dehumidifier. If you got a cell pump, put a lid on it. If you got a humidifier on your furnace, turn it off. You know, if you got a crawl space next to it that's wet, it leaks, fix it. Put in a vapor barrier. Get rid of the moisture. Run a dehumidifier. That's going to help. Look at that. There they are. Our little ants. See them all? Like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? You know, more pocket joist, basement. Now here you could see they like the rod of wood. Now, what's this? You know when you check? You know, you got to check. Now, if the house faces south or west, check the door and the basement. Move the, you know, go up and look in the door, because some of these P's doors, defective door, or I don't say they're defective, but they leaked, okay? Sometimes, you know, the way the doors are designed, the way they're installed, they just need that moisture. And I'll tell you what, during the season outside, if there's an ant colony, and let's say in a tree stump, because somebody take the tree down, that's going to throw out these satellites with wings. They're going to find this rod of wood. They're going to bring in a satellite. So a large ant colony that's out in a tree or in the woods could have multiple satellites, and you could have multiple ones in your house too, almost from the same colony. So, you know, I don't know if you guys care about this. We'll just skip. Who cares about fertilized queens and the firstborn and who cares? You know what? You want to know about the biology of ants? Go to the internet, look it up. We're going to skip all that because I don't want to talk about it either, because it doesn't matter. You got ants, you got water, you got moisture, you got rot of wood, you got nuisance, you got rot. That's what matters. We got to get rid of these things, okay? So there's our queen ant. Remember, she was a little bit bigger. We don't care. We're never going to see the queen. We already talked about the curved bodies. How do we get rid of them? Well, you know, different things. Now, they do, you know, if you get the stuff, a lot of times the Home Depot stuff, the molarity isn't as strong. And so it works, okay? But they're only allowed to give, you know, people like you and me, you know, laymen, only a certain molarity of poison, right? Whereas the pest guys generally they have licenses, right? And they can buy strong stuff and they can mix it and they could apply it and maybe be a little, that's why a lot of pest companies do better when you hire them. But a lot of times I've seen pest guys go to Home Depot, buy stuff and pretend it's theirs, you know. So, and most of these pest companies, they want to kill the ant. So they kill the ants, but then they come back because they're not building science guys. They're not moisture expert. You know, they're not forensic people. They're ant killer guys, you know, pest guys. So you got to do your homework, man. Do not just call somebody. You know, if you call a furnace guy, he's going to say, oh, you need this, you need an impeller or something. Oh, it's $850. Wait a minute. If you would have done your homework, you would have looked up that part number. You would have known exactly how much it cost. You would have looked at your furnace and you would have called and said, hey, bring me this piece. This is what's broken. Now the $800 bill is like $398. It's the same thing with pests, okay? So do your homework. Find out where they're at. Get rid of the moisture, and you're going to get rid of them, okay? So out in the woods, in the trees, a lot of trees, when you see wind blows, you know, what happens when the wind blows? Well, the trees fell down. Go look at those trees. They're hollow. There was an ants in there, and they destroyed that tree, and that tree became weaker and weaker. And as trees get older, these ants know that. They know that they can get in there because the wood is softer. There's a big hole in a tree in that one. There's a tree that fell down in a house. And if you want to look for ants, you know, okay, we'll do this real fast. So look for, they like the shaded area, okay? See the shaded area? This is an actual ant colony that we found. And basically these ants worked their way up and it came up those wires, okay? The phone wires, okay? You guys don't have phones anymore. You know, you have satellite and internet and all that. But these are old phone wires. And usually the ants that are going up, they're moving slower because they're full of food. And when they're coming down, they're moving quicker. So you see them going up slow and fast. You know they're coming and going, right? And so basically, you know, and then these particular ants went in the soffit. And yeah, they were up in the attic. They were in the soffit area. It was also shaded by a tree. There was a way to get up there. And they're going to get up. Doesn't matter if they go up a phone wire. They're going to come up a wall. So anyway, so here's these are coming up the gutters. See them going up the gutters? And they know you're around. They'll see you. They'll hear your vibration. They'll just stop. They see these two ants are just hanging out. You see the ants? Let's see where they're at. There they are. The ants are just hanging out because, you know, they hear it. They're getting spooked. You know, they hear the noise and they're afraid. And so they stop. Anyways, okay. Real fast. Call Marco with a question. Any house issues, odors, moistures. Down below are some of the links I just talked about if you want to get rid of ants. And by the way, if you want to buy something else on Amazon, just use those links and type in what you want. I do get a % on it. And then also ring the bell for future videos. Also subscribe, rate, like, ring the bell, call Mark with a question. Hey, thanks for coming on. I have probably 600 plus videos. And if you want to go to my channel, just go to Clevelandmarko. That's with a K, Clevelandmarko. And then you could look in the search section, punch in what you want. You know, if it's an odor, you know, if you want to see a video on, I don't know, black spots on your siding from Sperry bolus stellatus fungi rotting mulch. You know, you got mold, black mold, oh, black mold, yeah, you know, up in the attic. Yeah, I got tons of videos, you know, HVAC, diagnostics, stains on water heaters, whatever. I got tons of stuff, and I do solve problems for people all over the country. You know, you just send me a few photos, man. We talk, we read a few correspondence, you know, 15, 20 minutes. At least, or, you know, maybe we don't find that black box that's in the wall that's causing your problems, but we'll get pretty close to eliminate a few things. And if you eliminate a few things, you stop your problems. Hey, thanks for coming on. Call Mark with a question. Please rate, subscribe, and ring the bell.